Welcome back here for second half action. What was once a jam-packed first half, 14-7. St. Thomas Aquinas Saints are up against the Great Bend Panthers right now. About a minute to go before the second half officially starts. Before we get to that, the Kansas City Command powering the 810varsity.com Top 25. Season tickets for the 2012 Arena Football League season at Sprint Center are now on sale. Call 855-KC Arena. And from first half stats, let's start with the visitors and Great Bend Panthers. Mitch Kotis, he had 56 yards total in rushing, including a touchdown. That's how they officially got on the board. A 40-yard scamper to officially get on the board. He was 3 of 9 for 30 yards for passing wise, so not so good there, but the running game's been doing pretty good for Great Bend. 111 rushing yards, only 30 passing yards, but 111 yards rushing, including 40 yards by Jeremy Sigler. Now for the St. Thomas Aquinas Saints, Paul Height, 7 of 12, 195 yards for Paul Height. Pretty incredible by him, including one touchdown. And that's really been their offense. It's just been Paul Height. And then, of course, after their 35-yard touchdown by Paul Height to Clayton Henning. Clayton Henning has 91 yards, including a touchdown. Nick Williams had a 90-yard kickoff return that was really sensational. I've never seen so many broken tackles on a kickoff return like that. Nick Williams, incredible play. Great speedy guy. But here comes the second half. I'm Pat Stroughton alongside Alex Holt. Thank you for tuning in to 810varsity.com. St. Thomas Aquinas will be going on all throughout the year, as well as other select teams. Make sure you continue coming on to 810varsity.com. Second half, here we go. St. Thomas Aquinas will kick it off. And that's Piles back there for the Saints. Kicking off, deep boot. And finally recovered at the 3-yard line. Sigler going to the right. Has a hole. Breaks off one. Going to the right and see if he can break the kicker. And he gets tackled. Good return by Sigler. Ball will be placed at the 37-yard line. Good solid return for Great Bend. Yet again, great field position for the Panthers of Great Bend. That's one thing that they were really good at in the first half. Really only one starting drive that started at about their own 3-yard line. But other than that, they've really been in great position all throughout the ball game, but still find themselves trailing. 11:52, just started the third quarter. St. Thomas Aquinas Saints 14, Great Bend Panthers 7. Mitch Kotis in shotgun. Kotis, option to the left, taking it all the way, and he's going to be hit behind the line. 2 yards shy of the original line of scrimmage. What a great tackle by Zach Martinez to burst through the line and get that tackle. Great Bend looking at the sideline, getting play calls. 2nd and 12 for the Panthers. Ball placed at the 37-yard line in their territory. Kotis in shotgun, trips left. One wide receiver to the right. And one running back to his right as well. Kotis takes the snap. Throws it short to Sigler. Sigler trying to make a couple cuts. And another good tackle. I believe that was Zach Martinez again coming through there and hitting him. And he's the one who's going to be picked up from the ground. Good job by St. Thomas Aquinas to swarm. So 3rd and 14, another 2-yard loss. Not what you want to see from Great Bend for your offense. And we'll see what they do here. Down by 7 against St. Thomas Aquinas. Kotis in shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the left and to the right. Kotis looking deep. Blitz. Screen. And there is St. Thomas Aquinas again with another stop. But that time it was a 1-yard gain. But a 3 and out for the Panthers of Great Bend. Not good offensive production to start the second half. And they'll have to boot it away. Mitch Kotis, the quarterback, will also punt the ball. Deep to return for St. Thomas Aquinas is Nick Williams, as well as Clayton Henning. Nick Williams had a 90-yard kickoff return. Let's see what he can do in the punt return game. Cotis in deep. Good snap. Almost blocked, but instead gets the kick off. And ball just going to be bounced around for a little bit. Finally going to harmlessly stop right at about the 20-yard line for St. Thomas Aquinas. St. Thomas Aquinas, the last score that they had was Paul Height, a 35-yard touchdown to Clayton Henning. Ball start at the 20-yard line. St. Thomas Aquinas, 9:44 to go left in the third. 14-7. St. Thomas Aquinas leads Great Bend. Aquinas with the ball. They'll be in shotgun. It looks for Paul Height. And it's going to be a little pistol for Paul Height and St. Thomas Aquinas. Let's see what happens here. Height, handoff, right up to Martinez. Martinez breaks one, and finally, after a 13-yard gain, brought down. Good gain by Luke Martinez. And good play by St. Thomas Aquinas. Ball placed at the 38-yard line. 9:36 left to go in the third. 14-7. St. Thomas Aquinas leads. They have the ball. Height, shotgun, rolling to the right for an option. Instead, it's going to be a throw deep. He had Henning wide open, but there's a penalty flag on the field right next to the original start of the play. Looks to be a holding. That's usually what happens when the umpire throws the flag. St. Thomas Aquinas looks like they're backing up. Referee trying to sort things out here. Ball's drizzling on the 38. It's going to be a holding against St. Thomas Aquinas. So what was a 1st and 10 will now be a 1st and 20. Left to go for St. Thomas Aquinas. Ball on the 38-yard line in their own territory. Height, shotgun. Williams going in motion. Just lightly jogging to the left. Height, quick handoff. Martinez, left side ball on the ground, and it is recovered by Great Bend, and a key turnover by Luke Martinez, and that's going to be recovered by Great Bend Panthers. If there's one way to get back into this ball game, turnovers is the name of the game for Great Bend. And that's exactly what you want to see from Great Bend. So one turnover chalked up to the Saints of Thomas Aquinas. And that's a costly fumble. They were after one good play, and then a penalty, and then a turnover. Not very good for St. Thomas Aquinas, but we'll see what Great Bend can do here as they are in a great field position. Once again, ball placed on the 23-yard line. 9:20 left to go in the third. Great Bend trailing by 7. Let's see what they do here. They're in pistol formation again. Josh Lopez in the backfield. Cotis in shotgun. Hands off to Sigler. He stumbles for a couple yards. And that will be a 4-yard gain for Sigler. Sigler had 40 yards by himself in the first half. This rushing attack for Great Bend, 111 total rushing yards in the first half. Not really a good passing team, but a very good rushing team. And they are in pistol yet again. Mitch Cotis. It's going to be an option to the left. And a Saint crosses the line, immediately sacks. It looks to be Andrew Horn, and yes, it was. The big middle linebacker for St. Thomas Aquinas makes the stop. 3rd and 7. Ball on the 20-yard line. 8:30 left to go in the third quarter. Yet again, Cotis in the pistol formation in shotgun. Cotis drops back, looking deep. Instead, he's going to be sacked behind the line. That looks to be Eric Mason coming through and making the sack. Chalk up another sack for St. Thomas Aquinas, their second of the ball game. So after a 3rd and 7, now is a 4th and 10 for Great Bend, and they will come on for the field goal unit. We'll see how well Mario Espino does here. Espino. And it's going to be a fake, rolling to the right now, looking deep, and instead it's just going to be a bad throw and an incomplete pass. That was Bryce Beck, who is a 5'10 sophomore, trying to fake out the St. Thomas Aquinas Saints, instead to no avail. Now you can live the dream. Learning to fly with Air Associates can be one of the most exciting, rewarding, and challenging activities you'll ever experience. You'll have the most fun you've ever had. Their special flight packages will make your training even more affordable. Visit their website at takeoffkc.com. St. Thomas Aquinas with the ball in the lead. 7:39 left to go in the third quarter. 14-7. Height in shotgun. Quick throw to Williams, and Williams even had a nice little pop there. Good hit by Jonathan Lindy. I did not see that coming, and neither did Nick Williams. That could have been a great hit. Just a nice little pop. If he would have put his full shoulder down and went full speed, that could have been a bone-crushing hit. But instead, 2nd and 10 for the Saints. Handoff to Martinez, going left, dragging in a defender, and finally brought down. Looks to be a 1-yard gain. Good, solid tackle by, yet again, Jonathan Lindy. And it's going to be a no-yard gain, so 3rd and 10 for St. Thomas Aquinas. They have the lead 14-7 against Great Bend. Height in shotgun, 3 wide receivers to the right, 1 to his left. Height dropping back, quick throw, screen. Here comes Henning. Henning will be brought down about 2 or 3 yards shy of the first down. And looks like the punt unit team will come out, and yes, it will. Here comes the punt team for St. Thomas Aquinas. Both teams really struggling on the offensive end. Great Bend had that turnover, but they couldn't capitalize. And St. Thomas Aquinas really hasn't been doing much either. Back to punt is Brandon Nachbar, senior. Instead, not enough players are out on the field. That's something that Coach Michael Thomas doesn't want to see. So they're going to have to blow a timeout. So 6:26 left to go in the third quarter. 14-7 the score. St. Thomas Aquinas leads the Great Bend Panthers here on a10varsity.com. Ordering Good Sense is now quick and easy with Good Sense. Online ordering. Just log on to MrGoodsense.com and place your order today. I tell you what, after this game, I'm already feeling the grubbing. I mean, Good Sense would be a good idea for us. Maybe we should stop by on our way home. But I'm sure these teams, they're not really hungry for sandwiches right now, but they are hungry for a win. St. Thomas Aquinas ranked number 24. Great Bend, not really ranked, but they're really a good team, only down by 7 points, and they have an opportunity to capitalize after this punt.
A very similar start here to the second half as that we saw really in the first quarter. Both teams kind of a stalemate, back and forth, more of a possession type game, and now the possession is going to favor Great Bend after this punt.
And now it's going to be a quick fake, no one around. He has plenty, and there he has a wide open way, and it's going to be a pitch to the left, and it's going to be brought down. That will get the crowd going, sidelines going crazy, the fans going crazy. No one saw the fake coming. I didn't see the fake coming. That was an incredible play. Good job by Brandon Nachbar, the punter. He had a wide open lane to the right, and then he pitched it off to Henry Krause at the last minute. You don't see that happen too often because that is so risky to pull off in high school football.
That's the thing. Gutsy to begin with the fake call, and I'm sure the coach was a little nervous when he saw him hand the ball off there, and they're lucky really to obtain possession, and next thing you know, all of a sudden they're in the red zone.
Wow, huge play. Paul Height now in shotgun. Now penalty flags come onto the field. False start for St. Thomas Aquinas. So after a huge game, ball was on the 16-yard line. That will be brought back to the 21-yard line. 5:58 left to go in the third. 14-7. The Saints of Thomas Aquinas currently lead Great Bend. And what a play by Brandon Nachbar. There's been some special plays. Special teams has really been incredible. 90-yard kickoff return by Nick Williams. Now you have a huge gain and pitch by Brandon Nachbar and Henry Krause. Height in shotgun. Empty backfield. Drops back. Looking in the corner. Going for Henning. Jump ball. And he is no good. Height had a good throw. Henning, that's one of their favorite plays. And now Henning is down. He's cramping up already. And it's hot and humid weather in Kansas. Definitely he's cramping up already. Not a good sign for him. But that's one thing that Paul Height wants to do. They really like that fade. I won't say fade, but definitely a fly in the corner to one of their best wide receivers, and Clayton Henning, who is 6'3", 170. So the guy can jump. A guy can catch. He has the most receptions in this game. 3 receptions for 91 yards and a touchdown already. So you know he's a go-to guy. But he walks up, A-OK, not really limping too much. That's a good sign for Clayton Henning and St. Thomas Aquinas. 5:42 after a stoppage of action here by the referees. 14-7. Saints lead against the Great Bend Panthers. 2nd and 15. Ball on 21-yard line. St. Thomas Aquinas in Great Bend territory. Will they capitalize? No team has really been able to capitalize in the red zone. But yet, Paul Height threw a 35-yard strike to Henning back in the second quarter. Will they do it again? We'll see what happens here. Shotgun, Height, a new running back in the ball game. That is Eric Benson. We'll see what they do here. Height dropping back, quick wide receiver screen to Williams, and even a better defensive play. They have some good cornerbacks on this team. That was Thomas Drew. Excuse me, not Thomas Drew. That was Jonathan Alindy again. He's usually a backup. He's a backup outside linebacker, but instead, he's more like being used as a cornerback as he goes out there and tries to guard these wide receivers. 3rd and 16, ball on the 22-yard line. Height in shotgun once again. Bad snap. He fakes to the left. Height going deep. Lobs it up and looks to be intercepted. And yes, it is. Interception by the Great Bend Panthers. Another turnover by the Saints of St. Thomas Aquinas. And that's another thing. Momentum swings back in Great Bend's favor. But what can they do with it? They need to answer that question with 5 minutes left to go in the third. Saints ahead 14-7 against the Panthers of Great Bend. Great Bend will have the ball. They'll come out and see what they like to run. Still no sign of their backup quarterback in Matt Marshall, who, when we were told that Matt Marshall might have been seeing some playing time already, seems like head coach Bo Black wants to go with Mitch Kotis for the whole way. Josh Lopez now checked into the ball game. Shotgun, double tight end, double wide receivers. High snap, Kotis, quick throw, and a good catch. Finally brought down. Good catch by Jace Bowman, 6'2", 160-pound senior. And that's going to be a 13-yard gain for Mitch Kotis. Mitch Kotis was only 3 of 9 with 30 yards in the first half passing-wise. But right there, a 12-yard strike already. 4:50 left to go in the third quarter. Great Bend trailing 7-14 against St. Thomas Aquinas. Kotis, shotgun, double tight ends, fakes, go into the middle, shakes off one, and it finally brought down at the 2-yard gain. And now is going to be a unsportsmanlike penalty call. The players are getting a little bit out of control, and that would be between Spencer Bayless and Zach Martinez. They were going at it, and it's going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty on the Panthers. Looks like both teams were going at it. And what's really funny about that is Spencer Bayless, his helmet actually came off, and Martinez was there getting in his face, but that could be an either-or call on one of the teams. But instead, it's going to be a penalty against the Panthers. Only a 5-yard penalty, so nothing too crazy. Usually if you see that, it's going to be way far back there, but instead it's only be a 5-yard penalty. 2nd and 15, 14-7. Saints lead the Panthers. 4:29 left to go in the third. Cotis, double tight again, dropping back. He throws a quick route to Irube. Almost lost the ball, but he's going to be brought down after a 5-yard gain. Great tackle there by Michael Baska, a 6'2 senior. There's some tall cornerbacks on this St. Thomas Aquinas team. Michael Baska is 6'2". Dylan Moran is 6'1". And then your strong safety, Will McDonald, is actually 6 foot. So they have some tall defenders out there in the secondary, causing some issues for this Panther team. Lopez out of the game, and Sigler back in. Fake handoff to Sigler. Quick throw out. And one broken tackler, and another first down. Good job by Jace Bowman, 6'2". They've been going to him recently. Another first down for Bowman. Another reception for him. And Great Bend moves the chains once again. 3:39 left to go in the third. Saints lead 14-7. Great Bend is trailing with the ball. 2 wide receivers to the right. Pistol, Lopez back in the ball game. Sigler as well. They're in pistol once again. Cotis sends a man in motion in a rebate. And a handoff to Lopez. Lopez, 220-pound guy. He does not get stopped after a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 for the Panthers. They're getting closer to St. Thomas Aquinas territory. And let's see if they run pistol yet again. Mitch Cotis in shotgun once again. Josh Lopez, Sigler, 2 wide receivers to the right. Cotis looking for a quick throw. Uribe, what a great catch by Uribe. 6-yard gain and a first down for the Panthers, and another player already cramping up. This looks to be John Cosentino, and it's going to be another official's timeout for injury. He is cramping up already. Doesn't look like he's any other pain other than that. 2:46 left to go in the third. Saints lead 14-7 against the Panthers of Great Bend. The Kansas City Command powering the 810varsity.com top 25 season tickets for the 2012 Arena Football League season at Sprint Center are now on sale. Call 855-KC Arena for your season tickets. And talk about arena football, well, we have some high school football going on right here. And it's really been a back and forth battle. If it wasn't for Nick Williams and his electric play, this game would be tied up right now if you take the special teams. And what's even crazier is, I believe Great Bend, their time of possession has to be more than St. Thomas Aquinas. They have caused more turnovers than St. Thomas Aquinas, but they're still finding themselves trailing. It's really interesting when you look at special teams, and they always say a third of the game has always been determined by special teams. Well, third of the game, well, they're up by 7 points right now, St. Thomas Aquinas is.
I know it's a new year, but it's definitely a different story as well here. 52-28 victory for St. Thomas Aquinas and Great Bend last year.
Yeah, a little bit different, 14-7, a little bit less. Mitch Cotis and pistol. Josh Lopez in the backfield. Sigler as well, 2 wide receivers to the right. Cotis blitz, has a man, but overthrew him. That was Jace Bowman looking for the reception. That was a 1st and 10, so now it's going to drop and be 2nd and 10 for the Panthers of Great Bend. Ball on the 45-yard line in their own territory. Cotis has really been looking a little bit better in the second half. He's overthrown a couple of his men, but he's really had more accuracy in this half. Has a little bit more yardage as well. Cotis, inside a bad snap, a quick hand out to Lopez. Lopez has an opening. He drags, he breaks off one. He breaks off another, and finally brought down by Will McDonald. Josh Lopez, he has been the spark plug so far, if you ask me. Josh Lopez, 220 pounds. And what's even crazier is he's only a junior and he's 5'8". This guy is sensational. He breaks out tacklers. Big boy out there, and he runs big as well, as you can tell. Runs up and down, not really a side-to-side type of guy, but he can definitely run the football. Shotgun is Codis. 2 wide receivers to the left. Sigler in the backfield. Hand it off to Sigler. Sigler hasn't touched the ball for a while, and he finally is brought down after a 4-yard gain. 1:48 left to go in the third quarter. Saints up 14-7 against Great Bend right now. Great Bend has the football, 2nd and 7. Ball on the 35-yard line of St. Thomas Aquinas. Shotgun again for Mitch Codis. Sigler to his right. 2 wide receivers to the left in shotgun. Set in motion is Look-to-be Lopez. Instead, it's going to be a fake, and here comes Codis again, and that is going to be a clear first down, a 10-yard gain. Panther fans are looking to strike here. 1:13 left to go in the third quarter, 14-7. Panthers looking to strike. Ball on the 24-yard line, 1st and 10 for Great Bend. They need to run some more plays like that. Codis is really a good ball faker. He hides that ball fairly well for a quarterback. That's one thing. If there's one way to be effective as a quarterback, if you're not a good passer or a good thrower, or a good rusher, they're going to go to Michael Thomas. And it looks like there's going to be some confusion. I think it's music for kind of like a sideline warning, I guess. We're up here in the booth so we get inside action. And here comes Codis in shotgun. Lopez in the ball game. Sigler out. 2 wide receivers to the right. We'll see what happens here. Codis looking deep. Puts a touch on it. He has a man, but it is incomplete. Uribe wanted a pass interference. Instead, it's great defense by Brandon Nakbar. He's been all over the place. He was a huge special team play type of guy. After a punt fake, ran the ball for a long ways and pitched it off for even a bigger game. Now he's making some defensive plays here for St. Thomas Aquinas. Ball on the 24-yard line, 2nd and 10 for Great Bend. Pistol, hand off to Lopez. And he is stopped behind the line by St. Thomas Aquinas. 30 seconds and counting here in the third quarter. 14-7, still the score. No points have been scored in the second half. All points were scored in the second quarter. 3rd and 10, ball on the 24-yard line. Let's see what the Panthers do here. 17 seconds on the play clock, so they don't have to rush. But we'll see what Codis does here. 6 seconds, 5, 9 seconds on the play clock. Codis is just going to let it run out. That's going to be the end of the third quarter. So St. Thomas Aquinas, number 24 overall, currently leads Great Bend 14-7. Ball would be on the 25-yard line for Great Bend. 3rd and 11 for them after stoppage of play. Time to buy a new washer and dryer? Need a facelift to the kitchen? Factory Direct Appliance has 5 locations around the Kansas City area, including the Northland at 152 Highway in North Oak. Special financing available. Buy Factory Direct and save at Factory Direct Appliance. Call 816-468-8344 or visit us at kcfda.com. And really, Alex, this has really been a back-and-forth game. Position, like we've been talking about the whole time, but it seems like special teams has been the biggest key in the story. You think turnovers is usually the deciding factor, but right now turnovers not really playing a big deal. 2 turnovers by St. Thomas in the third quarter, and they're not paying for it yet, but only up by 7 points, and Great Bend's tempted to score. What do you look for Great Bend to do here?
Well, I think you look even in the last quarter, the game has really slowed down. The pace of the game has slowed down. I still think that pace favors St. Thomas Aquinas. We saw early on to start the game, Great Bend really was the team that was attacking, trying to push the tempo. Aquinas really, I think, has controlled the game now the way they want it in terms of playing at the speed that they wanted. But if you're Great Bend, I keep going back to it. I mean, you got to be happy where you're at right now. You're in a position, you're on the road. As we talked about, had a long road trip during the day. You're only down by 7 12 minutes to go in the game.
Thank you for joining us here on 810varsity.com. Make sure you stay tuned for more action all throughout the season here for St. Thomas Aquinas. Great Bend with the ball here at the start of the fourth quarter. Dual running backs here for the Panthers. Kotis in shotgun, drops back looking to the right. He goes to the left. He has pressure and a great tackle behind the line. Another sack for the big fella, and that is Dan Morin. That is his third sack in the ball game. Jace Bowman is down. Stoppage of play here. Now he's gonna. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he's A-okay, but looks like this hot and humid night in Overland Park, Kansas, home of St. Thomas Aquinas. It looks like cramping is going to be a big factor as well. Fourth quarter really tests your strength, your endurance, and your mental ability, because I tell you what, as a former offensive lineman, you go in there, and after 3 quarters of play, after running so many different offensive plays, you're trying to figure out what's going on because you've been running and blocking so hard. And you do cramp up from time to time, especially when you look at running backs and wide receivers. Those are the big-time guys. But for sure, right now, hot and humid, this happens basically at every single high school game that you go to.
Absolutely, especially the first game of the year. The first game of the year, nobody's in football shape. You can say you practice all year, but until you play a game, you really don't know what it's going to be like. Thinking of guys getting up slow, the quarterback for Great Bend, Kotis, got up a little bit slow, limping on that play. Something to watch when we talk about Marshall. He would be the backup.
Yeah, let's see what Kotis actually does as well, because he is the starting quarterback. Matt Marshall was supposedly was going to get some playing time today, but it's been Kotis all the way. Bowman's now going to get up and limp off the field. Cramp of the calves. Definitely no fun for any sort of football player. 11:43 left to go in the fourth quarter. Last year, St. Thomas Aquinas was well ahead going into the fourth quarter. This year, a little bit different. Only up by 7. Fans getting on their feet. Home crowd advantage. Dual running backs for Kotis. In shotgun. Drops back. Pressure coming up the gut. Kotis going deep. Has a man. Intercepted by the St. Thomas Aquinas Saints. Ball was being carried out, but a great interception right there. Turnover ball game. Huge play by Dylan Moran. First turnover by the Panthers of Great Bend, and first interception by Mitch Kotis. He has 1 touchdown and now 1 INT, and the ball was on the 30-yard line of St. Thomas Aquinas. So position right there. They had an opportunity. They lost it. Bad play. And now it's going to be a 5-yard face mask at the end of the run, so add another 5 yards to the end of the play. I'm sure no one meant to do that accidental. That's why it's only a 5-yard penalty. You don't see that in NFL college anymore because that rule has been just basically a 15-yard penalty no matter what. High school a little bit different. Interception, first turnover. Turnover against St. Thomas Aquinas. 2 turnovers, 1 interception, and 1 fumble by Luke Martinez. And 1 interception for Great Bend. Now with the ball at St. Thomas Aquinas, Nick Williams goes straight up the gut. Instead, he meets a wall. And John Verbeck, 320 pounds, straight up the gut. You will not run away from him. Once he gets his arms around you, you fall down like a sack of potatoes. There's no way you're going to wrestle that for a broken tackle. 2nd and 10, ball on the 19-yard line for the Saints. They're up 14-7, 10:58 to go in the fourth. Shotgun, Height has Williams right next to him. Height going deep. It's going to be a screen play to Williams, and he had broke 1. And it looks like he has the first down. Nick Williams making all sorts of plays. We'll see where they place the spot. And it looks to be a First down. Now the main referee's going to check it out, and yes, he's going to confirm it. And it's going to be a first down for the Saints with the lead and the ball.
This is one of those times really here in the fourth quarter you can use a lot of clock and really seal the deal with a good drive.
It looks like they're pushing up the pace a little bit more, though. Height in shotgun, already snapping out the ball. Fake to Williams. Height up middle. Finally gets tackled by Great Bend Panther. Paul Height now will get back up. 10-24. Left to go in the fourth quarter. Saints up by 7. Pistol formation again by the Saints. They don't run this too often. 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Sends a man in motion, and Henning fakes the hand out. Oh, excuse me, he does hand it out to Henning off the left side. Henning steps out of bounds. He almost tiptoed his way for the first down marker. Instead, it's going to be credited out of bounds after a 4-yard gain, I believe, unless it was way back there. And yes, it was a 4-yard gain. Third down in 6 for the Saints of St. Thomas Aquinas. Ranked number 24 with the lead, 14-7, 10:06 left to go in the fourth. Height, shotgun. Blitz coming off the left side. Height, quick throw to Henning, and Henning, who has been their number 1 receiver for this ball game with a sure hand, drops that one right there. Huge costly mistake for Henning and the Saints, and they're going to have to boot the ball away to a Great Bend team down by 7. But 10 minutes ago, they have been eating up the time clock as well. If they get the ball back, eat up the time clock, and score, St. Thomas Aquinas might be in a bind. Thank you for tuning us here on 810varsity.com. I'm Pat Stropin alongside with Alex Gold. Thank you for tuning in for this great contest here. High snap, deep boot by Nakbar. It's just going to be a fair catch by Connor Sell. So Great Bend will get the football here. Ball on the 26-yard line. 14-7 is the score. Saints currently ahead. 9:54 left to go in the fourth quarter. $5 footlong subs are back at Mr. Good Sense. 7 great subs to choose from. Come see what fresh really is at Mr. Good Sense. And Great Bend, they really need to get something going here. After turning the ball over, that really affects the quarterback, Mitch Costas. And maybe that injury might hurt him a little bit more as well, because he said he was limping a little bit. Sometimes that gets to a player's head as well. Let's see what Costas does here. 2 receivers to the left, sends one in motion. Quick handoff. Excuse me, faked it. Fooled me. Costas going straight up the middle after being brought down by John Costantino. He's been all over the field. This St. Thomas Aquinas defense has really been all over the place. Great Bend, they've been doing a good job rushing the ball. It doesn't seem like their passing game's trying to get in a rhythm. That's going to be something that's going to be against them if they do not score here. Codis and shotgun. Sigler coming in the ball game. Lopez to his left. And shotgun is Codis. Looking for a quick receiver. And Uribe with the catch. But another great tackle by Brandon Nakbar. He was on the play. And also Morin as well was on the tackle. 8:55 left to go. Third and 1. Ball placed on the 34-yard line. 8:48 and counting in the fourth. Great Bend down by 7. Do they have a comeback in them? We'll see what happens. Codis under center, look for a quarterback sneak. He does, and he gets the first down fairly easily. And we'll see what happens. The fans do not like that call. From up here, it looked like he was clearly over the line, but that's for everyone's opinion. The referee, nonetheless, is going to chalk it up as a first down. 8:33 left to go in the fourth. 14-7, Saints currently lead. Codis, shotgun. Lopez and Sigler to his right and left. 2 wide receivers to the left for Codis. Codis now looking deep, has a man, and another interception by guess who? Dylan Moran with another interception. Not good for the Panthers of Great Bend. A bad throw. He just kind of forced it. I don't understand why they don't just check out of that, or better yet, just throw it away, because that was just a terrible throw. Terrible decision. But nonetheless, St. Thomas Aquinas will get the ball with 8:10 left to go in the fourth. Saints up 14-7 with the ball. 1st and 10, ball on the 43-yard line of the Saints. Height in shotgun. Wide receivers to the left. Nick Williams in the slot position. Height, option left, goes straight up the middle, saw a hole, and he met a defender in Hunter Harrison, the outside linebacker. Looked to be a 1-yard gain by Paul Height. But as of right now, St. Thomas Aquinas really shouldn't look to push the ball. 7:50 and counting left to go in the fourth. They can basically run out the clock. They don't need to score right here. They just need to slowly take their time. 2nd and 9. Height dropping back. Quick throw. Williams, straight-handed catch. Jukes one. Stays up. And it looks to be short of the first down. We'll see where the referee places it. Yeah, it's going to be 3rd down no matter what. It's going to be a gain of about 6 to 7. Fans not liking that call either, as you can hear the booing. But nonetheless, 3rd and 2. Ball on the 49-yard line. 14-7 score. Saints lead.
Not a good spot for the home team.
Height in pistol. Fakes the handoff. Goes on right. He gets the first down easily. 7 minutes and counting. Great Bend in a bind. Do they have a comeback in them? Height's going to take his time getting up. Checking in the ball game is Luke Martinez for the Saints. Now 3 wide receivers to the left for Height in shotgun. 1st and 10, ball on the 46. Height drops back, fakes the throw, has a man, Henning, and it looks to be a good catch. Yes, it is. Good catch by Henning. He waited basically at the last moment to move his hands to clutch the ball in between his arms and his chest, and that will be a 1st down for the Saints. Paul Height has really been looking good all throughout this ball game. Not a lot of bad throws. He had 2 or 3 of them that were a little bit too long, but nonetheless, he's having a great game. Empty backfield. Height in shotgun. Drops back. Bad snap. Nick Williams to the screen. Has blockers. Goes to the left. And it looks to be a 1st down yet again for the Saints. We'll see what the referee. Yes, it is. It's a clear 1st down. So 14-7, 6:31 left to go here in the 4th quarter. St. Thomas Aquinas in good shape. Ball on the 13-yard line. 1st and 10. We'll see what they can do here. If they capitalize, you got to start liking the chances for winning the ball game. Height in shotgun. Drops back. Goes deep. Henning in the end zone. And he caught it with ease. Clayton Henning with a touchdown. 13-yard pass by Paul Height to Clayton Henning for another touchdown. That would be Henning's 2nd touchdown of the game, as well as Paul Height's 2nd touchdown. And with that said, Saints are now up comfortably 20-7 with 6:20 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Extra point here by Fogarty. Waiting for the snap. Gets it good. Looks good. And yes, referees confirm it. 21-7. St. Thomas Aquinas is ahead. What can Great Bend do? A huge special teams play could be in order. Nick Williams had that back in the 2nd quarter. Could do the same way here for Great Bend. You cannot count him out with 6:20 left to go in the 4th quarter. Only down by 14. Nick and Jake's Real Food, Honest Drink. Nick and Jake's, the proud title sponsor of A10varsity.com. Check out our promotions throughout the season on Facebook or on Twitter at Nick and Jake's. A slow drive for St. Thomas Aquinas, and they finally punched it in after a 13-yard throw by Paul Height to Clayton Henning. 2nd touchdown of the day for Height and Henning. Thank you for listening. I'm Pat Stroup alongside Alex Gold. You are listening to coverage of high school football here on A10 Varsity. Kickoff now coming for Pyle. Pyle now. Deep boot. And a bobble there on the special teams play. Picked up and finally brought down after a prior 20-yard return. We'll see what Great Bend can do here. They're down by 14. 6:10 left to go in the fourth. Saints lead. But we'll see what happens here. Cotis has really been struggling. As far as throwing-wise goes, we'll see what happens. Cotis now and shotgun. Little technical difficulties here, but here comes Cotis. Cotis, a jump ball and a good catch by Jace Bowman again. Now it's going to be a penalty flag on the field. It looks to be a face mask. See how severe it is. If it's incidental, it'll be 5 yards. If it's more severe, it will be a 15-yarder. We'll see. Referees trying to mark it out. Oh, excuse me, pass interference. I was kind of surprised that it was a pass interference. It looked like a jump ball situation, and it looked like it was pretty clear, but instead, pass interference against the Saints. 6 minutes ago in the fourth quarter, Cotis in shotgun, trips left. Cotis drops back, looking deep, screenplay. Lopez, he bobbles it incomplete. Great Bend needs something to happen here. Down by 14. They cannot afford drops like that with 5:43 left to go in the fourth. 2nd and 10. Ball placed on the 33 in their own territory. Uribe to the right, 2 wide receivers to the left. Cotis in shotgun, receiving play calls from the side. Cotis, Uribe in motion, hands it off. Had good pressure there for Saints, but here Uribe goes, breaks more tackles, coming back to the right, and finally brought down. He had it opening to the right, but Sam Kindred ended up getting the tackle. But I tell you what, Uribe, all he needed was just one more cut, one more broken tackle, and you knew he would have been gone for a huge play. Instead, it'll be a 1st down and 10. Ball placed on the 46. 5:53 left to go in the fourth. Great Bend down by 14. Cotis, shotgun, trips left, Uribe now moving to the right, trips right. Sigler in the background. Uribe going off the field. 2 wide receivers to the right and left. Quick handoff to Sigler. Sigler barrels his way for 7 yards. It looked like he dropped forward for 7 yards, but instead they're only going to give him 5 yards, so chalk it back. Ball now in Saints territory on the 48-yard line. 2nd and 4 for the Panthers. Cotis in shotgun, drops back, fakes, quarterback draw, has a hole, and drops down to the 46-yard line. It's going to be shy, 2 yards left to go. Ball placed on the 46-yard line. 4:39 left to go in the fourth. 21-7. Great Bend is trailing. Still hot and humid here in the night. No wind still. But Cotis in shotgun. Drops back. And a huge pressure off the right. He jukes him. Has a man deep. Uribe. And it's caught. Uribe jinks left. Uribe going to the left. To the 5. Dives. Touchdown. Great play by Great Bend. Uribe breaks the plane, and what a play. Great Bend is still in this ball game, ladies and gentlemen. What a pass. He broke off one tackler in the backfield. He had Uribe deep. The quarterback guarding Uribe lost sight of the ball. And then it was caught by Uribe and taken in all the way for the score. P18 coming after. This is huge. If they don't get this, it's going to be even more of an uphill battle. Snaps good. Holds good. Kick is up. And good by Espino. So, ladies and gentlemen, the game just got a little bit more exciting. 4:13 left to go in the fourth. Saints 21, Great Bend Panthers 14. $5 footlong subs are now back at Mr. Goodson's. 7 great subs to choose from. Come see what fresh really is at Mr. Goodson's. I tell you what, Alex, this has been a barn burner all throughout the ball game. Last year, St. Thomas Aquinas put up 52 points. Instead, this year, a little bit different. They've only put up 21 points. Great Bend scores right there, makes the game a little bit more interesting. If Great Bend makes a stop, 3 and out for St. Thomas Aquinas, they have a chance to tie the ball game and essentially might be able to pull ahead.
Plenty of time, as you mentioned, plenty of time for both teams really to, whether it's Aquinas here to use a lot of clock on this drive and put it away, or for Great Bend, they come out with a 3 and out, and they've got plenty of time. And this one is wide open. It's been a great one. First week of Friday Night Football.
Espino getting ready to kick off the ball. Down by 7. They're looking for Espino. Just a nice short and high kick. Williams finally picks it up, going to the right. Breaks off one, and finally brought down from behind. Good job by the Panthers to not allow a big kickoff return by Williams, because he's done that before in this ballgame. 90-yard kickoff return earlier on. 4:08 left to go in the fourth quarter. 21, St. Thomas Aquinas State's lead. Great Bend, 14 points they have. First and 10, ball on the 25-yard line. If Great Bend makes a couple of stops here, they have a great opportunity to win this ball game. Because you imagine if they tie the ball game, they might just go for 2, but we'll see what happens. Height in shotgun. Luke Martinez not in the ball game. Williams in the slot. Height in shotgun. Quick throw to Williams. Going to the right side. He jukes back inside. And a great play by Williams. Williams, he's just so slippery. I talked to some coaches as well. Last year, he was really quick and really fast, but the one thing he lacked was the ability to break tackles. This year, a little bit different. He bulked up, and he is just as fast as last year and a lot stronger, as you can tell by breaking tackles. First down for St. Thomas Aquinas. 3:48 and counting. St. Thomas Aquinas will take their time. First and 10, ball on the 37-yard line. Saints 21, Great Bend 14. Height and shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the right and left. Handoff. Martinez straight up the gut. Good tackle by Great Bend. That was Hunter Harrison there to make the play. Second and 8 now after a 2-yard gain. Ball on the 39. Saints up 21-14 against Great Bend. 3:12 left to go in the fourth quarter. Aquinas, usually a team that's a little bit more quicker than this. They're going to take their sweet time as they're trying to burn the clock as much as they can. Height and shotgun, trips left. Height fakes the handoff, going light. Height jukes a man and gains 3 or 4 yards. Looked to be a no gain. Instead, turns out to be 3 or 4 yards. 3rd and 4 for the Saints. We'll see what they do here. 21-14, 2:34 left to go in the fourth. 3rd and 3, ball on the 45-yard line. If Great Bend gets a stop, they are still in this ball game. Height and shotgun. Play of the game right here for Great Bend. 2 wide receivers to the right and left. Height and shotgun. Martinez, option left. And he cuts in, and he gets the first down and more. Height going all the way to the 35-yard line, and that was a huge play by Paul Height. Now Great Bend, they have to really start making some plays. That was the play of the game basically for Great Bend's defense, but they still have a shot. Let's see what St. Thomas Aquinas does and how Great Bend responds if a turnover happens. And it could possibly happen, ladies and gentlemen. This is high school football. Anything can happen. 1:52 left to go in the fourth. Saints up by 7 against Great Bend. With the ball, 1st and 10, 35-yard line, height and shotgun. Martinez gets the ball, and ball was almost stripped from behind. Martinez was carrying a loaf of bread, and when you think about Martinez, Martinez is the one who had the fumble earlier, ladies and gentlemen. So Martinez has been able to cough up the ball, so you know that Great Bend's trying to strip the ball. 21-14, timeout here by Great Bend to save some of the clock. 1:37 left to go in the fourth. 2nd and 12, ball on the 37-yard line. Nick and Jake's, real food, honest drink. Nick and Jake's, the proud title sponsor of 810varsity.com. Check out our promotions throughout the season on Facebook or on Twitter at Nick and Jake's. I'll tell you what, there's one thing I'd be tweeting about. Look at this game. 21-14, barn burner. They're going back and forth. I tell you what, if Great Bend makes a stop, I mean, you got to think that they're going to try to strip the ball as much as they can. And if Martinez is still out there, Martinez is the one who coughed up the ball. So possibility of Martinez to cough up the ball once again. Thank you for listening. I am Pat Strawman alongside Alex Gould. This is coverage of high school football on 810varsity.com. Height and shotgun. 2 wide receivers to the right and left. Martinez right to his right. Option right. Pitches off Martinez. Martinez breaks one and finally tackled after a 2-yard gain. So another timeout by Great Bend. They have one more timeout. So if they get one more stop, they still have a shot. I thought they used a timeout in the third quarter, but St. Thomas Aquinas, I guess they did use a couple of timeouts. But as far as when you look at Great Bend, they saved all theirs, which is incredibly smart by them. 1:30 left to go in the fourth. 3rd and 13. Ball on the 38. Inside Great Bend territory. St. Thomas Aquinas Saints looking to put the game away. Number 24 team overall. And they have a great opportunity to go 1-0. And I tell you what, there's one thing about high school football. No one wants to lose their first game, regardless of who you are.
Something to watch here. Luke Martinez, obviously been a big factor for Aquinas, the fullback or running back, limping off the field a little bit. I don't know if the wind's knocked out, but he is not going to be out there for a crucial 3rd and 13 situation. And if you're Aquinas, Pat, you got to wonder in this situation, do you go for the pass or do you make them use that last time out and get a run?
And as soon as you say that, Paul Height is in shotgun. Williams, quick screen, cuts inside. He has some room, but instead brought down. Great Bend's going to use their final timeout. And let's see what they do here as well, because Saints, what they could do here, Saints can go for it. They are in that territory, or they can go for it. Yes, it is 4th and 9 or 4th and 7, wherever it is. It's definitely a lot less than 4th and 13. The ball is placed on the 37-yard line.
You're talking, what, a 48-yard field goal from here.
And they can go for a field goal, too. They can go for a field goal, or they can go for it all. I mean, they can just go for the win and go, because obviously with this field position, what's the difference between starting at the 35-yard line if you're Great Bend or starting at the 20-yard line? It's really, you're giving up 15 yards, and with the way that this offense has been producing for Great Bend, you know that the throwing is going to be not so hot unless you get a lucky jump ball like Uribe did not too long ago.
Trying to see if they have anybody from that kicking team on, and it appears the punter, Brennan Knockbar, is actually coming out. So they may just do a little pooch punt. And as we say that, an injury doesn't look too good for Aquinas here coming off, one of the big guys up front. And you're exactly right. A big guy, 6'2", 238-pound sophomore, Andrew Hageman. He's a right guard. He's not putting any pressure on that left leg. That could be a bad sign. Hopefully he's A-okay. But anytime a lineman goes down, not putting any pressure on the legs, you know something's wrong.
knock bar, and punt formation. Deep as cell, knock bar, and a high pooch kick. Looks like it's gonna bounce back to about the 20-yard line. So either way, he could have kicked it into the end zone or just kick it high like that. Either way, it works. And ball beyond the 20-yard line, 1 minute and 12 seconds. Let's go in the fourth. Saints up 21-14. Great Bend still has a shot. Don't count Mitch Kotis out. Yes, he has 2 interceptions. But at the same time, he has himself a rushing touchdown and a throwing touchdown. He can do it all. He's a good player, and they have good wide receivers in Mario Uribe and Jace Bowman. Those are the 2 guys you need to look out for in this offense. And also, you might want to look at for Jeremy Sigler and Josh Lopez. Those are the main weapons so far. Let's see what happens here. Empty backfield. 4 linemen up front. Kotis, short throw, too far to the left, incomplete. 2nd and 10, ball on the 20-yard line for Great Bend. Great Bend down by 7, 21-14, 109 left to go in the fourth quarter. Kotis, empty backfield yet again. Let's see how well their 1-minute offense is. Ball on the 20, Kotis hikes the ball. Quick screen, and that looks to be, and got some yards there, but he's still in bounds, so Great Bend needs to hustle up to the play clock, because I tell you what, they need to get a snap going real quick. They cannot snap it. If they do, they'll be in 4th down. 52 seconds. 21-14. Kotis dropping back, has a man, and he looks to be short. Completed to Connor Sell, but it looks to be short. We'll see. Referee checks it. 4th down, 4th and 2 for Great Bend. This is the ball game. If Great Bend gets it, they're still alive. If Saints get it, it's ball game. They go away with a victory here at home. And it's going to be a quarterback sneak, and it looks like Kotis got it. We'll see. And yes, referee immediately clears it. He has to get up and keep it going now. To set the chains will stop the clock, and they need to get going. 40 seconds. Now here it goes. Kotis in shotgun. In the backfield, 3 receivers to the left for Great Bend. Kotis drops back, 30 seconds. Deep pressure, Bowman just a little too high for Bowman. He had Jace Bowman wide open. Instead, he overthrew him. 27 seconds left, fourth quarter. Saints up 21-14. Great Bend down here for an away contest. A contest that was a blowout last year. This year, different. 2nd and 10, 31-yard line. Empty backfield, trips left, 2 receivers to the right is Kotis. And a good catch, a sliding catch by Brock Ibarra. And here they go. Ball on the 46-yard line, 22 seconds left to go in the fourth. Clock goes now. 20 seconds. Kotis jogs back, quarterback draw. He really has to go, and 14 seconds. Bad decision by Kotis. 10 seconds left to go. What will they do? They have to get going. For some reason, a timeout by St. Thomas Aquinas. 10 seconds ago. Clock was running here in the fourth quarter. Great Bend down by 7. Coach Mike Thomas calls a timeout.
Very shocking there. The only thing you can think of is that you want to make sure your guys know what their assignment is and drop them back and prevent. But you think something like that, that's instinctive, and their team has been practice situations like this. Surprising you have timeout. Now you get a chance for, if you're Great Bend, to plan something, a specific play here and a shot at the end zone.
That is, I'm dumbfounded. Mike Thomas calling a timeout. 10 seconds. Clock was running. At 2nd and 4, ball on the 47-yard line in St. Thomas Aquinas territory. Now, Kotis. He could throw a lob up, probably in the middle. They're probably going to go for a route near the 20-yard line. Now fans getting up, cheering on their Saints. Saints up by 7. Great Bend trying to make a comeback. Kotis in shotgun, 3 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Kotis, quick throw, to Uribe. 4 seconds went off the clock, so 6 seconds left. He got out of bounds, and he got the first down. You got to be thinking Hail Mary here because 6 seconds left. It's not going to be too often. You're going to be able to complete and be able to get going. 42-yard line, 1st and 10, 6 seconds. Great Bend down by 7 points. Cotis in shotgun. This could be the ball game. Cotis dropping back. Great pressure. Cotis lobs it for the end zone. Uribe tipped away. Uribe makes the catch. Uribe makes the catch, but the problem is it is 0 seconds. No timeout. No timeouts left and no time on the clock. So close for Great Bend. So close. Uribe, what a great catch by Uribe. That's going to be the final play of the game. St. Thomas Aquinas escapes a narrow victory.
What a finish here in Overland Park. What a first game for high school football. Multiple plays that you can chalk up as highlights for the week.
What a way to kick off the high school season, ladies and gentlemen. Saints escape with a 7-point lead against Great Bend. Saints 21, Great Bend 14. Very incredible ball game by both teams. And I tell you what, back and forth, Great Bend came out and they kind of punched St. Thomas Aquinas in the mouth. Straight up, right away. They ran the ball with Jamie Sigler. Cotis was a great option type quarterback. And I tell you what, they came so close. Couple crazy catches. Uribe, of course, had one catch that was for a touchdown. That one right there, it was at the 5-yard line. They had a great opportunity to score. If they had one more timeout, or better, just one more second, that would have been incredible. Uribe would have had a shot, and they would have had a shot to win it. But that's going to be the final score. Saints win 21-14 against Great Bend. And St. Thomas Aquinas, they are number 24 overall, and they end up pulling out the victory here at home. 810varsity.com now brings live video streams for more than 25 Kansas City Metro schools all season long. Now you can watch and listen to all the live action on your computer, iPad, or your phone. And, of course, live scores, rankings, and more. Live or archive, get the games at 810varsity.com. For Alex Gold, I am Pat Strothman. Final score, St. Thomas Aquinas 21, Great Bend Panthers 14. Thank you for joining us here on 810varsity.com. Continue to follow us all throughout the football season because we'll have that coverage for you. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful night.